3,000. We have currently 3,354 euros on our bank account. I have retransferred the money which I paid by my credit card already for those members who joined recently. I just wanted to ask if there are some more open bills to be paid. I think, Nicole, you bought the lights, the lamps for the meetings for the timer. So I think did not yet get this invoice to pay you what you have paid to, I don't know where you bought it. Yeah.
I think I sent it via email. I have to check, but I think I made a copy and sent it. Maybe to Tom. I have to check.
Yes, please, because then I could transfer the money back could reimburse you. And I do not know if somebody else has spent some money for the club which needs to be reimbursed so that we can have it taken from the bank account and it's included in the accounting and in the books. I sent Melanie and Tom, you should have the bank account statement for the last 90 days. Nothing really has happened then that we received the payments for the latest new members, and I retransferred what I have paid to Toastmasters International. Yeah, that's I think I need to prepare for the last year, actually it's the current period, but our Toastmasters year normally ends then in end of June, and we have to send the financial report and also the activity report to VIC. So I should complete this and provide it to you, and also finally should give a speech or update you on the latest financial reports, what we have submitted for what we spent the money. Yeah, that's all from my side concerning taking over until the end of the period. I'm not sure if it's the wish of the Hexacom or of Tom, so whatever you prefer. Tom, are you somewhere?
Yeah,
Brigitte,
I'm here, yeah.
just I've checked. I sent the bill to Tom and to Melanie.
Okay.
And I've just forwarded it to you, so you should have it now.
Super, thank you very much. So
but I have to give you my bank account.
Yes, if it's a different than the one which you used for paying your membership fee, then I could maybe you give me, it's easier.
Yeah, that's that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
So I can check it also and send it by email if it's the right one.
Okay, fine.
Okay, super. Thank you very much. So please, if there are any outstanding bills or invoices, send them to me. Otherwise, I cannot reimburse you. Yeah, maybe I should hand over to Tom now, or to Melanie, or I do not know if you would like to know something else.
No, I'm really happy that you've jumped on board again, and Tom, totally fine. We just have to maybe do something official so that Brigitte has access to be able to go into the Toastmasters International when paying, or are you just using Tom's login for now? Like, how are you guys working that out? And what are we doing? The other thing about the bank account, then we can move on.
Okay, Tom, he gave me his username and a password. So this is what I'm using for Toastmasters International currently to make the transfers. Yeah, because otherwise I would not have access to TMI to do this transfers, the payments. Yeah. what else? So
I
mean,
just wanted
if-
Tom to maybe just give a little shout out.
Okay. So no, I think since anyway, Brigitte does all the work, it would make sense to officially change the treasurer again to Brigitte, which will also make the access to Toastmasters International more straightforward, because then she can log in with her name. Yeah, and as promised, I will try to work on making us an official Austrian Verein, which is basically the prerequisite to have an account in the name of Toastmasters, of VIC Toastmasters, and then we can again think who should be the treasurer in the future then.
Okay.
So I would suggest that this is the way forward, that Brigitte takes over again treasurer, and then we see once we have official Verein in Austria.
Okay, thank you. Maria Teresa wants to say something?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment. Tom, you might like to approach Otto Schwerer, who has had experience at one point in getting this whole thing in, as a Verein. I know he has a lot of background on that. He might be able to assist you with that.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
I know he's a busy guy. I know he's a busy guy, but I mean, he's interested in Toastmasters, and I think he could really be a big help.
Yeah. So far, the most valuable document I have is from Nicole. She gave me the statutes of the Blue Danube leaders, which apparently are an official Verein, because these are statutes that are recognized by Austria.
Okay, wonderful. Let's move on to the mentoring program, where I'm going to give the floor to Maria Teresa, who is actually going to say something else. Go ahead, Maria Teresa.
Thank you, Melanie. Fellow Toastmasters, Executive Committee, the mentoring program really isn't working. I have not had too much feedback from people, but I at least have identified at present 3 members who would need a mentor. New members, Alma, Stephanie, and Arbana. So within the Executive Committee, could we have somebody volunteer to take Arbana, Alma, or Stephanie?
I have Ria, the new woman.
She's not a member yet, but I mean, if you would take her.
Yeah,
okay.
She's already approached me in Cybersdorf.
Okay.
So
okay,
we can add that to the Easy Speak. And then Maria Teresa, would you be able to in Easy Speak switch Tom out for Brigitte again? Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that in Easy Speak, but I think we also have to inform Toastmasters International, and I'm not quite sure how that works. Would you like me to follow up on that?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay. Okay, but still back to the 3 people that we need, Alma, Stephanie, and Arbana. Who is willing to be a mentor to one of the ladies?
I can take Arbana.
Oh, super. Thank you, Ines. So Stephanie and Alma?
I could do Stephanie as well if Rita doesn't, really step up to the plate. So then I would have.
Okay, one more person. Lily, how are you doing? Would you be willing to take Alma?
I'm actually really tied up with Women's Federation events and a big conference in February. But yeah, okay. I mean, I've also got.
If not, just say so. If not, I mean, I'll try to find somebody else. I'll do it myself if need be.
Yeah.
Okay. No, better. I appreciate it. It's better to be, candid and say if you don't have the time, you don't have the time.
Typically ask for me, okay, but otherwise, yeah, if you're just assigning people, then I'd prefer not to just be assigned to her.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, and then as we cross that bridge, because I know Ines is working on several other people who will join eventually, and then I think at that stage, we really will have to get something really in place that as soon as somebody becomes a member, they immediately are assigned a mentor. So let's think about, who else is willing to step in.
In the future, we would need 5 more
people among other members, not necessarily the ExCom members.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had no response from anybody, at least other than the Executive Committee. Not a single person responded to my email message that they're willing to be a mentor. I could try it again if you want, Nicole.
What actually qualifies you as a mentor?
Sorry?
Being alive.
What qualifies you as a mentor?
Being alive. Everybody can learn from everybody.
I can volunteer, but I don't know if I qualify. I'm not very.
You will be good,
Yeah.
Gordana. You'll be good.
Okay.
Yes.
I can
Okay.
try.
You'll be
Yeah.
good.
Then
That would be
I
super.
can mentor who's left. Alma.
Alma. Mhm.
Okay, so we've changed
Well,
that.
Gordana, if you have difficulties, you can always ask, or if you have questions, you can ask the other mentors or members of the
Sure.
committee.
Yes. Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay, so we've got sorted out. is with Gordana, Stephanie is with Melanie, and Arbana is with Ines. Okay, that's the end of that. We can move on, Madam President.
Okay, wonderful. Let's keep going. Recording of meetings. As you can see right now, we are officially recording. Lily has been outstanding in uploading everything onto EasySpeak. Lily, I'd like to give you control of the meeting right now, just to tell us where we are with the last recordings. Maybe we can discuss how we can record when we have the one time in person. What do you think, Lily?
There's the issue with the meetings in the room. The camera has to be set up and the card has to be put in. And when I've taken the card home to upload the previous meeting, and I can't attend the meeting, then I understand there are still lots of spare cards in the cupboard or in the suitcase upstairs. I'm not sure where. I mentioned that to Rena last time when I took the card with me, and that needs to be put into the camera, and then somebody in the room would need to set up the camera and the tripod, which I ask you dearly to be careful with the tripod, because actually it's our second one, because when I wasn't doing it, every time somebody forcefully tried to close it and actually broke it. So we need to be gentle and cautious with the way that we're using the equipment, but technically it's possible for anybody to film. And the question, Tristan used to upload the videos himself from the Zoom meetings. The access to the YouTube channel is the same as the Gmail account. So anybody that was the whole point of having that identity. So anybody who's got that access to the Gmail account, who identifies themselves as VIC Toastmaster, can upload the videos to the YouTube channel. I can do that as well when I'm there, and also I can do the ones from the Zoom meetings, and anybody who has access to the Zoom account can also upload those recordings. I'm happy to do it when I'm there, and if anybody sends them to me when I'm not there, I can also do that.
So we'll say that you are the main IT uploading, and we have to find you a backup. How's that?
That's a good idea.
For the
Yep.
sake of the meeting minutes.
Okay,
Teresa, go
can
ahead.
I make a comment? Could I just make a comment? I noticed that our last executive committee meeting, we didn't have anything that the secretary Gordana could fall back on to see what we discussed. So can we also put those meetings, also make them available, the committee meetings?
Yeah, I think we're all up to date. Lily, I've seen everything
No,
up to date.
the last executive committee meeting, there was nothing that was posted.
Did we film it though? Did we record?
This I don't know. This I don't
December.
know.
We'll check December.
I must commend Gordana for really giving us the information. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Really great. Very much appreciated.
You're welcome. I have just a quick question. How do we get that? How do we access the YouTube channel? Is it somewhere on EasySpeak?
In the past, my experience was that it was being posted on the meeting.
Yeah, and then to get an actual link to it, when Lily uploads something, because she sent you the actual link and you're a member of the VIC Toastmasters Club, it directs you there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lily.
That's right. When you go to the last meeting, then you go to the link of the recording, then you end up on the recording, and then underneath the recording is the name of whoever uploaded it. And that is our club. That is our YouTube channel. And then when you click on there, then you are in the channel. And to get access to that, you need to identify yourself as the owner of that channel.
So that's why it's easier when one person is actually uploading the videos, because Lily gave me a perfect let's say, training online how to do it. But if I didn't have the password for the Gmail account to store it, to put it on there, it's just time consuming. So Lily, if you wouldn't mind doing them, I mean, luckily we're only really needing, well, it's going to be 3 times a month, right? Just till the end of the June, because I think we're all caught up. So there's like nothing in the rear.
Yeah.
And if you can't, then we can have a backup, maybe Aishan or someone who's good with computers, or Tom or somebody. What do you think, guys? Tom, would you be the backup for Lily? Because I know you originally did them. Maybe Tom doesn't want to be backup.
I never did the upload. The upload was always done by Tristan. So I did something with the videos themselves, but not the upload.
Oh, he did it.
I remember even Alois once uploaded, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, at the beginning when we first started Zooming, it was Alois that was doing it, and then he dropped out and I took over. Yeah, or I did it and showed him, and then it went back and forth a bit.
Okay, well, let's leave it at Lily for now. And Lily, if you can't do one, send it to me, and then I just have to get the username and password for the Gmail account. So Gordana, you can do that. Say that Lily is the main, and then backup is Mel. Okay, so meeting room A0671 issues. Just so you all know, the meeting room has been booked for us, believe it or not, twice a month, in case we are able to go back to full in-person meetings. I've done it for the full year until December of this year, December, whatever the last month of the day is. It's been reserved from the executive assistant of, well, Tristan, but he's gone. So I don't know, Tom, maybe Brigitte, anyone who's in the building. I've just seen a few messages from our central security coordinator that we shouldn't have meetings more than 25. We should wear masks the whole time.
Yeah.
I think we should still try to meet the first Tuesday of the second Tuesday of the month. What do you all think about that?
Yeah, I have a point. I think that the in-person meetings at this stage are very important. Even if we have the issues with mask and limited number in the room, which is actually something which we have to learn to live with at the moment. We have seen it in the last meeting. It's helping to get people together, to create the cohesion, and also not to create distance. Because when we have online meetings, especially for newcomers, there is distance being created, and it's all right. It's okay. We have to learn to live with it.
It's a done deal. We already have the room booked twice a month. If we don't use it at all, then I should release it. But then in an email exchange I had with what's her name? I can't think of her name right now. Her name is Geraldina. Geraldina, I have an email from her. She just said it would be nice if I released the room, but she said they never use it over lunch. So let's leave it as is. I'm really excited that we're still going to have these meetings. So it's done till December.
Can I just make one comment? I totally agree with Ines. I think we should not abandon the in-person meetings. I just think we should also consider, I send an invitation to the meetings to 32 members and 17 guests. Now, I doubt people are going to show up, but just in case, we ought to be aware.
And if that happens, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I don't want to pre-assume anything that they're going to come or they don't come. And maybe if they do come,
I agree. And I think the in-person meetings are very important.
Okay, great. Let's move along. I'm going to hand over all the control now to Inez about the planning of the event. Go ahead, Inez.
Okay, thank you very much. The event for this year has been postponed, I think, twice. I think we should try to have it certainly in February, if at all possible. I think it is possible from my point of view. With regard to the payment, as I said, the amount will be as much as what we paid in 2019. There will be not 1 cent more, because I negotiated it also with jurists. And I'm in touch with them, and they said, we are flexible, you just let us know when you need us. The amount of 23 euros, 39 cents or something like that has to be sent in advance or transferred in advance through the Bank Austria on our account. And I think we should give the members at least 2 weeks to do that. So if we are making a decision now in February, when we will do it on a Tuesday or whatever day we will decide upon, let's sort of send then this week still, it is possible, the message to the members to give them the time. We would need 20 to 25 people, and I think we can pull it off. If you ask
Great.
me.
So do you have a suggestion for maybe you come back with 2 or 3 dates and we, the XCOM, can vote on it? Maybe you send it in an email to the XCOM like I did about what time we're going to meet for this meeting. And I think we should just decide ourselves when most convenient is. Because we know we need 25, we know we need a payment ahead of time, then we'll see how many people are interested. But I would just love you to just send out, February 14th, we call it a Valentine's, or end of February, we call it, beginning of spring, whatever you want to call it. We have to just pick a date. So I'll let you pick 3 different dates. We'll make a vote and even put one further in, I don't know, before Easter. It doesn't have to, we don't have to push it for this month if we're still, flapping back and forth with 25, not 25. Because if they need a minimum of 25 people, yet the stipulation in the VIC says we can't have 25, then, it's like we've got our answer right there.
We need a minimum of 20.
Know that we have as many as we can have.
We need a
Melanie,
minimum
I didn't
of
get
20
it. We
people.
can or we cannot.
I don't think we can have more than 25 in a meeting. Can anybody correct me? Brigitte, Tom?
That's all right.
I don't know.
Gordana, did you read that email?
Yes, I've seen it.
Don Erlet?
I've seen it.
Yes, I think it's 25, the limit.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a catch-22. We have to have a minimum of 25, but we can't have more than 25 in a closed area. So that's the only thing that concerns me.
I'm looking at the calendar. If you want me to give 3 dates, the 15th, this Tuesday, the 15th of February. The 14th of February is a Monday. Tuesday is the 15th. We could have, you could say, a belated Valentine's.
Okay, for the sake of time, and let's just put it in an email because I don't even have a calendar in front of me.
Good.
Okay, so that's the deal with the luncheon. Moving right along, club success plan, overview and roles. Brigitte, go ahead.
I think Brigitte has a point.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I'm not sure if early February is the right time, because I mean, they say the highest number of this COVID pandemic will be in the next 2 weeks. So I'm almost sure that people are afraid of joining this lunch if we say we do it middle of February, because we have now almost the end of the month. So I'm not sure with the number of participants.
Okay, I agree. So Inez, go ahead, throw 3 dates at us and let's see what the majority rules.
Good, we'll do it.
Okay, so club success plan. I saw Gordana uploaded something that Nicole and a bunch of us had worked on before. How does it look, Gordana? I'll hand over to you and Nicole.
I mean, I'm not sure what you guys expect from this. I think it looks pretty good. Maybe we can have another meeting to discuss further, like each point, if we want to change something, because that, as Nicole said in the message, has been developed by Tristan in 2020, for 2020.
With input from all of us.
With input from all of you, of course.
I'm
yes.
awfully sorry, but Ines, that's not completely true. I went back and looked at the first page. According to the guidelines from Toastmasters, it should be the entire executive committee putting forward their suggestions. And there were several things, at least, that I looked through it. Nicole, it was good that you said it was good reading. Indeed, it was. I found a lot of the things were not complete. And I know you put a lot of effort into kind of collecting the contributions from the various people. But since it was for 2020, if we're going to do a club success plan, I think we should do it for 22. And we should start from scratch. And then again, the whole thing is, how do we do this?
There was one point I wanted to make, is that the success plan then ended up with Tristan. And to be very honest with you, I don't know what he did with it, whether he completed it, whether he signed it, whether he sent it. That I don't know.
Nicole, it should be signed by the entire committee. It's not just one person.
Okay, so
If you look at the
say
back,
to stand
if you
and
look at the
go any
back
further
page,
then.
if you look at the very back page, it's supposed to be a collaborative thing. It's not just the
Okay.
president.
So
Yeah.
should we arrange a meeting just to
Yes.
discuss this? Because it's a whole document. I think it will take.
You know,
more about-
we have to avoid that this will be a never-ending story. It has
Yeah.
been going back and forth. I think we should have, as Gordana suggested, let's have one meeting and get it, everybody prepares themselves, read the draft, which we have with us now, and get it over with and get it signed off by all of us.
Yeah, because if we start the thing, if I may say, if we start the thing of everybody giving written comments and then I have to put everything together and there are repetitions, it's very time consuming, it's very energy consuming. And in the end, I get comments that something is not good, something is wrong, something shouldn't be said that way. And as Gordana said, if we start from scratch again, then it's a never-ending process. So I agree with Gordana that we should have a separate meeting, work on what we have, change what needs to be changed so that it can be signed by everybody.
And so what we'll do is we'll upload the document and then we'll flip through it page by page together and then just all, agree or not
Yes.
agree. And then at the end, when we see each other face to face, we'll all sign it and send it off. So that sounds good to me. Along with the club succession plan, when do we start thinking about nominations for the next executive committee for 22-23? I mean, we're already now at the end of January. And I remember hearing the buzz about things by March, because then you have April, May, June, three months before. Is that correct, Maria Teresa? Because
We have to have an annual general meeting in May, and ordinarily that's when we have the election for the officers. So
Right.
again, I think it's best to start recruiting as soon as possible, but the election should take place in May. People should be elected, and then that's how that works.
Okay, and what about this question I have for all of you? I know for a fact a president should not do more than one term, but because you had Victoria doing so many terms as a VPE, is that possible to keep the VPE like you, Maria Teresa, with all your, background information and doing such a dynamic job?
The only position that has basically to be, reinvented, so to speak, is the president. Otherwise, everybody else can stay on board.
Perfect.
If they want
Good
to. If they want to.
Good to know. Thank you. So we got to look for a president, guys. It's got to be a staff member. So start throwing names at me.
I was wondering, since she's area director, shouldn't we perhaps contemplate asking Ivana?
Yes.
Agree.
Huh?
I second
And she's
that
a staff
motion.
member. She's a staff
I'm going to
member.
put that down.
Yes. Agree.
Okay, very good. We're doing great so far. I don't know if we want to get into the next point on the agenda, which is the potential workshop with Nicole, because this could take a whole nother planning session. But Nicole, you want to give us a little feedback on that, what you're planning on doing? And then we can move along to the club contest and anything else.
Well, as you said, I think that we're going to need a separate meeting for that workshop. What I would like to know from you is, since I sent you a draft, is whether you go for one meeting, 2 or 3 workshops, I mean, because we can have just one-time workshop, 2 or 3. And
I love the idea of 3, because I remember how we did this training with Maria and Tristan. I think it was in 20, moved into 21, and just the amount of people that were interested in that, because people are always hungry for personal and professional development. And we can open it up to maybe guests as well, like they did. So I would go for 3 if you're willing to do 3, but that's just me. Anybody else?
Okay.
I agree with it.
Okay, now we have to fix the dates, because we shouldn't forget that we have the contests coming on. Then it would be good to have the workshop before the contest, especially if somebody wants to do the evaluation contest. The other thing is whether we do it on Zoom or in person. In person has the advantages of in person. Zoom has the advantage of being able to have rooms, separate rooms, where we can have groups in separate rooms. And while people are working in separate rooms, we can show the others a film. For me, it's easier to work it that way. The second point I wanted to make, which is a more general point, is that I would have needed people to help me, and especially to help me open and close those rooms. But what I see is that Eshan, I think you invited him, but he never comes to the XCOM meetings. I tried to get him to work on the website with me. He says that yes, but then I never get a very precise day when we can work together. So I don't know whether he's too busy or it's a bit of a nuisance in a way that he's never there when I need him or when we need him for help with computers and this kind of thing. Because I don't know, for instance, maybe it's very simple, maybe Lily knows how to do it, but I don't know how to open and organize separate rooms and things like that. And it would be better if somebody
once
does
you are
this,
the VIC Toastmaster,
well,
it's really easy to
the
click
workshop,
in the
for
breakout
instance.
room. I see it here on my main screen. It's like I kind of have a way to do it, but I wouldn't want to do it alone. I would love to, have someone who's pretty good. And I know, Tom, you've got a knack with computers. Lily's great with computers. So that could lead us as well to our next point on the agenda, which would be the club in the area contest. I would like to just see a hand. Do you all want to have a club contest? Because Maria Teresa found out something very interesting. We can just nominate one person with a backup to go to the division. We can skip the club contest.
Melanie, first it's the area. And can I at least announce what I found out from Ivana?
Yeah,
the area contest is going to be held virtually on Sunday, the 3rd of April. And she communicated to me, if we go ahead with the club contest, we'd have to do it before the 19th of March. And so I've looked at the dates where we would have regular Toastmaster meetings, the 8th and the 22nd of February, or the 8th of March. But I'm actually quite concerned. Is there any interest in our club for people to participate in an international speech contest and an evaluation contest? It's a lot of work organizing a club contest.
Exactly. So we could just, if we want, nominate someone to do table topics. And if someone wanted to give a speech, like Tom did that.
We can send 2, right?
Yeah.
I have to check that with Ivana. I'm not positive. And Melanie, it's not table topics, it's evaluation.
There's no table topics this year?
It's evaluation and international speech.
There's no table topics. Last year there was table topics.
Well, according to what I heard, it's evaluation and international speech. I'll double check with Ivana.
Okay, because that's a big responsibility to put together a speech. Tom knows firsthand. But I would love the idea of just voting for someone who wants to do it, who's interested in doing it, saving our meeting just for our normal speeches, and just putting someone forward that really has the time and dedication and wants to put a speech together without having to go through the voting. And because I don't have time this year, and I don't know if any of you do as well, maybe Nicole or anybody.
But the time we save in not organizing a club contest is that we can help the person improve his or her presentation.
Yeah, if it's just one person and they want to keep practicing with us by doing the speech ahead of time. I keep looking at Tom, but he's not making eye contact with me because he did it once and he was so good. And I know he's going to win this year because he's so dynamic. Maybe, Tom, maybe.
No, I don't think so. I don't have the time to do it. It's just for skipping the contest. I mean, we have to keep in mind that it's one opportunity less for the candidate to practice. So that's the only drawback.
Yeah. I mean, they would practice with us, but it wouldn't be
it's not the same because you don't have the same atmosphere and you're not that nervous, which also actually it would help if you have more situations where you are nervous and you can also practice including this. So
we can make the person do it in person, face to face, and not online, and they'll be nervous. will make them
yes,
nervous.
but
will scare them.
unfortunately, then the real contest is online. So that's yeah.
Oh, that's true.
And what I learned is that you really have to check your equipment, as you know. So that's
Yeah.
That's a very important thing.
Check your equipment. Don't be jet lagged and don't have corona like I did last year.
Yeah.
Make sure the time zone is correct. It was 5 or 6 in the morning, and I had corona. I didn't tell anybody. But yeah. So that's I mean, that's something we have to think about. And then again, I would put that forward as a vote with the same idea of our luncheon. Do we want to stress ourselves out to have a club contest when we only have maybe one person who would be interested in giving a speech? If it's just evaluation and what is it, Maria Teresa?
International speech.
International speech.
I mean, that's heavy. That's a biggie. That's a biggie.
Yeah.
And I agree with Tom. It's good to have at least the atmosphere whereby if you organize a club contest, you have to find 5 judges, a contest master, a target, a target speaker, etc. It's very labor intensive. Do we have at least the interest and the people who would be willing to do that?
I mean, I think the interest always was stronger with our club, with the table topics. From what I could see, there was always at least 2 to 4 of us that would stand up and give table topics because, it's.
Well, I'll confirm with Yvonne and I'll get back to the entire committee.
And
Yeah,
then I think
because
at the first meeting, you
evaluation,
should talk about it.
table topics might not go very far. It might go just to the division level, but I'm pretty sure last year we had it.
I came in 3rd, so I didn't make it to the division. They only took first and second.
Yeah,
to
come back.
Be careful. The levels are club, area, division, district. Okay.
Okay.
To come
So I
back
made it to
to
the area, but not to the division because it was 3rd. They only took first and second.
to come back to the
So-
workshop issue
Mhm.
with Nicole, did we make a decision whether it should be online or in person or combined?
We can have one which is or 2 online and one and one in person.
And Nicole,
Okay.
would you like to do them as a supplement to the normal meeting or in lieu of the normal meeting?
Well, we have to check. This is it. We have to check how many meetings we have until the 19th of March. Not that many, right?
I said the 8th of February, the 22nd of February, and the 8th of March.
You said 8th of
Wait,
February?
8th of February, 22nd of February, and the 8th of March.
And if you're on top of that, you want to organize a luncheon.
We're undertaking quite a lot. I think we have to prioritize. I'm totally in favor of the workshops, which is why I'm opposed to having a contest. I think we have to balance out the time we have. And then, of course, with the luncheon, this is really a lot to take on board.
No, the luncheon can be later on. And I'm taking the point from Brigitte to push it a bit later for security reasons and safety reasons.
Okay, so that means, Ines, we're contemplating it only as of March?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
I will look at it. Yes.
Okay, that sounds good.
But can somebody remember when we had the workshops with Tristan, did we do it outside the normal meetings?
Yes.
I think.
Yes,
I
it was
think
the
we did,
Tuesday
right?
in between.
We
It
did
was
it
the
every
Tuesday
In
week.
between, right?
First and
In
the third.
between.
We did it every
Yeah.
week, actually.
Yeah, so we could have the workshops between the normal meetings.
Mhm.
If we get the
I'll
audience.
have to work out the dates when it is possible. And since you seem to agree with the principle, with the concept, I can try to find dates. And then, Rose, what would people from the committee be ready to do? Like somebody taking care of the rooms, or sergeant at arm. If we're going to do it one in person, then we need a sergeant at arm to to get people outside, and somebody who will take care of the recording, of course, and somebody who will introduce the the workshop, and somebody who will maybe show the videos, because every time there's a video, and somebody who would be in charge of showing the videos, for instance, so that not everybody has
Nicole,
to do the
just
same
as
thing.
a-
I know that I'm not. I always feel uncomfortable when I have to deal with videos plus speaking plus.
Nicole,
I
just
prefer when somebody takes care of the videos so that I can concentrate on something else.
Nicole, just as a remark, the videos are very difficult to transmit. So we had huge problems with the bandwidth, I remember. So videos is really difficult. It only works if you send the link to people and they individually watch the video. If you try to have the video via Zoom, it usually doesn't work properly.
Oh, so you mean a PowerPoint presentation is okay, but the video is more difficult, even if you give the.
Yes. You can just take, if you look back quite in our recordings, you see I had one speech with a video, and in the recording you don't see the video, you just see single, like a sequence of photos, basically. It's not a video because the bandwidth didn't work properly.
I've been to a lot of Zoom meetings where we've had videos broadcast, and I've learned a lot since I've been doing so many of these meetings. But last meeting that I had on Wednesday, my graphic card crashed. So the recording that I made, I couldn't see anything on what I'd recorded, but I could still distribute the recording to the others, and they had the picture, but the gallery of the people was over the top of the screen that was being shared. So I haven't got a new graphic card yet, so I can't really promise that I can solve the issues, but I do know that it is sometimes possible, but you do need the people who've got the expertise to take care of it.
Nicole, what do you think about being ready and doing one when we're in person the second week of February?
Melanie, sorry, the in-person meeting is on the 8th.
Yeah, which is the second, isn't that the second Tuesday in February?
The second Tuesday in February is usually online.
Was Tuesday?
The second Tuesday of the entire month. It's the second and the fourth Tuesday. So
the second Tuesday is the 8th, and the second Tuesday is the 8th, and the fourth Tuesday is the 22nd.
Exactly. So that's my question to Nicole, if she could be ready on the 8th. So it gives her 3 weeks. What do you think, Nicole? And we see just what the response is in person. You've got your PowerPoint up there.
If three of us, for instance, get kind of rehearse with this business of videos and everything, Lily, could we try and rehearse together with the Zoom and see whether it works or not?
Yeah,
I can also help.
Okay, Gordana, one evening, then I don't count on Eshan because, okay, but then the three of us and we can try and organize a Zoom meeting and see whether how the video works, and whether if I send the link to everybody can watch the video on their own screen, or how do we manage that? I don't know how you manage that then.
Right, but didn't you want to do the first one in person, maybe? Just to see how the feedback is with the people that are there? No, the workshop actually, in lieu of one of our meetings, because as you see, even today, if it wasn't for Maria Teresa doing table topics as her speech, there's no one signed up to do a speech.
I'm a bit reluctant there because as Brigitte was saying, we are going to be at the peak of the pandemics.
Oh, so you don't even want to come in.
In the workshop, as I see it, people have to sit together in small groups to work on the speech. So that.
Could I maybe throw out that we do have an in-person meeting on the 8th of March?
Normal one. You mean the normal?
We'll have a normal meeting. We'll see who signs up for speeches, and then it'll give Nicole ample time to practice to do a separate meeting.
Yeah, also, yeah, because the 8th is a bit too close.
It is close too. Okay.
I would go for the.
I'm talking about the 8th of March. The 8th of March.
What about the 8th of March?
As a proposed date.
The in-person on the 8th of March. But we can
Can
try
you repeat
and
your
have
question, Maria
one
Teresa?
even after
We're
that,
having
the
a
week
meeting on the
after.
8th.
Especially if we're not doing any contests, we can have the 8th plus, you just said the 15th or whatever it is, a second one in person, and then we'll be in March. And then as far as the pandemic is concerned, it'll be maybe a bit more relaxed.
The
What do you
8th of
think?
March, the 8th of March is the International Women's Day, so it's good to have an in-person meeting.
You said
An in-person meeting
Yeah,
on
no,
the
but I
8th
was
of March.
thinking the in-person meeting on the 8th of March,
March.
and maybe the week after on the 15th of March, in between two meetings. So we have 2 dates there. But the first one we can try and do between the 22nd and the 8th, or on the 22nd, presume, but I have to see with Lily how it works, or I have to change my without videos, or I don't know.
I have just a quick question on the workshops in general. Do people receive anything like a certificate of completion of workshops?
Actually,
I think that would
yes.
be a nice incentive for people
Yeah.
to sign up for
I
it.
think we used to do that in previous meetings, in previous years.
Yeah,
You have a point.
because
Yes.
I mean, it's a 3
Yeah.
times sort of
Mhm.
workshop. It's not a small thing. People
Mhm.
are not as, they're busy. So I think it'll be a nice incentive to have something for more sign up.
Well, if Maria Teresa heads to the US, we'll have more of the banners that I ordered. There's a huge shipment sitting at my mother's house in Pennsylvania. But Maria Teresa, if you don't get there, I'm definitely going in April for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So I can bring back banners and we can give them to the people that attend your course. They just say Toastmasters, where leaders are made or something like that. I don't know if we have enough to give everybody one, but instead of making a separate piece of paper that you do nothing with, these are great bookmarks. I have one hanging up right here. I don't know if you can see it. Where is it?
I
you
meant
see it
more
on the wall?
official stuff like that comes from Toastmasters.
That comes from Toastmasters.
I mean,
That
like, if it's a certificate of completion, people can put it on LinkedIn as well.
We used to have them. I did an evaluation. Yeah, right. We did an evaluation workshop, I think 5 years ago. And I think Otto did organize this workshop. And we had a certificate. We can design the certificate ourselves from the VIC Toastmasters International.
Okay,
Yeah,
we can do that, and then give them a little
to be
banner.
more environmentally friendly, it can be all digital.
It can
you
be,
don't have to
yeah,
print anything.
right.
Yeah, Gordana.
Right. We used to do it, and we should reinstate this very good.
Okay, food for thought. People, moving right along. The XCOM committee for 2022, we already said that we would love to see this Ivana step up to be our president. I think she'll be outstanding. And we'll talk about that maybe at a further XCOM meeting, and then we just nominate her and see what she says. And then I'd like to move on to the use of Easy Speak. Maria Teresa, was that your point? And then we can do any other business and close this and have a break before our next meeting.
Yeah, that was my piece. I would like to encourage everybody in the executive committee to, at the minimum, confirm that you're coming to our meetings. I mean, I have all of these new people who are actually getting better than our regular members and signing up. So please lead by example. And if you can't come to a meeting or if your schedule is tight, you can always put tentative. But please do it as an executive committee that we're all in sync and that we're good examples to the rest of the membership.
Okay, we'll say that's mandatory. As of now, can you all just accept or decline the meeting that Maria Teresa sends? But you won't, if you've already accepted yourself at the meeting, you won't get the email from her. So Maria Teresa, maybe just double check if they haven't. And then I can send a friendly reminder like, hey, tell us if you're coming or not, just the XCOM. Then we lead by example, like you said. Deal? So
I think we ought to try to encourage every member to, because like I said before, the newbies are really good. We have 4 guests expected.
Again, it's like trying to encourage every member to come. Let's just
Well,
work first
okay.
with the XCOM.
All right. The only
results.
problem is, I agree with you, but I think we ought to try to get people, if you organize a luncheon and you need to know how many people are coming for your buffet, if you organize a Toastmaster meeting and you need to know who's available, you have to have something concrete. That's my point.
I know, but I've seen people, RSVP that they're coming to weddings where it's $150 a head and don't show up. So I would just like to see the XCOM set the example. Let's start there and see if it's a trickle down domino effect. Okay, so easy speak. Oscar,
Okay.
Any other business? Anybody? The floor is open.
I have a question to Gordana. Gordana, did you manage to get access to the Gmail account?
I haven't tried, to be honest.
Oh,
Yesterday
okay.
was my first day at work, and I have the phone, but I will try this week.
Okay, good. So that's fine. The second thing is I really regularly more or less regularly go to the Gmail account, and I noticed recently there were different people showing some interest in at least visiting the club. Did you see that, Maria Teresa and Ines?
Mm-hmm.
You did, okay.
I did.
Nicole, I maintain my own. It's on Easy Speak. Anybody who has expressed interest in the club gets from me automatically an invitation. And you can see on Easy Speak, at present, we have 17 guests.
So where do you do
Mhm.
that on Easy Speak?
If you look at the agenda of any meeting, there's a button that you can click to show the guests. And every single person that's on the Gmail accounts you've looked at, with the exception of, I believe, one South Korean, is recorded by me. And I keep that up faithfully.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want to make a point about guests. I'm going to say something very unconventional at the moment. The guests are, let me put it this way. Based on our experience, 2 weeks ago, Maria Teresa, Rina, and I were there, and we decided to give the guests a role, to involve them in the meeting, to give them a possibility in a very safe environment to give their input, also as a guest. They did extremely well. And I would like to suggest that we do not really automatically exclude guests from input during, for example, the table topics, but we really give them the possibility to give their input and to say what they would like to say. This is what I want to put to you.
We let them speak in the beginning, Inez. We let them speak in the beginning and the end. And I love the idea of giving them a table topic, because I remember I was a guest and got a table topic, and it made me want to join you all 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, probably now. So I don't think that there's a written rule that says they can't do a table topic. Of course, they can't take an actual role.
I agree with Ines. And I would like to mention that our last meeting, we had 5 members attending and 6 guests. And Ines was brilliant with her table topics, but I think we should ask them in advance if they want to. I don't think we should force anything down their throats. Say, would you be willing to do a table topic?
Well, you'll have the first dibs of doing that today, because that's your area. So let's see if we have any guests today. And with that, I'm going to close the meeting. Does anyone have anything for me to add in the, Nicole, go ahead.
No, when, because the first week of February is next week. So when are we going to have our next committee meeting?
It's always the first.
Yeah, but that's next week.
What's Tuesday?
It'll be quick, but at least we'll, back to back with this one, being that we're going to have a few open items about deciding if we're for sure having the club contest, the vote on what we're going to do for the luncheon, what dates. So we'll have stuff to talk about for sure.
Okay, good.
So I want to keep it as
we
planned.
can also use it if we don't have enough.
Shall we plan for the 8th of February?
No, I want to keep it the 1st. This is too much in one day, guys. I mean, we all have full-time jobs. I cannot be
the 1st.
It's going to be 2.5 hours.
Okay.
I keep touching my computers and my boss thinks I'm green, but I'm in headquarters. I should actually be in Cybersdorf, but it's a lot. I mean, I have to go to the bathroom, to tell you the truth. That's why I'm dancing.
Okay.
I hope that's not being recorded. But you know, it's like 11 to 12 and then 12:15 to 1:30 sometimes. So I do want to keep it on the first unless there's an objection.
Yeah, okay.
Are we okay with
The
the first?
first of
I
February.
have one last point. I received an
Yeah.
invitation yesterday or a couple of days ago from Ivana to attend club officers training. Did the others receive such a message?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, because I
Not
was
yet.
invited to something on Sunday, the 13th of February, from 3 in the afternoon until 7 in the evening. Okay, I'll mention that at the next committee meeting.
Okay. Okay, see you later.
Okay. So
See you
I'm gonna stop
shortly.
recording now
See you
and
later.
record. Okay. Maria Teresa, would you stay on a sec?
Certainly.